Now that you have your domain name and your hosting account set up, we are ready to install WordPress. SiteGround and most other hosting providers make this super easy to do with just a few clicks. So if you aren't already there, head on over to SiteGround.com and click the login button in the upper right corner of the screen. On the next page, enter the login details that you set up in the previous module, and then click the blue login button. Once you're logged in, go ahead and click on the My Account tab, which is the second tab towards the top of your screen. On the next page, click on the red Go to cPanel button. This will take you to what is known as your cPanel, which is short for Control Panel. Under the Auto Installer section, click on the WordPress icon. Now we've arrived at what is known as the WordPress Auto Installer. To get started, click on the blue Install button. This brings up a one-page form that we're going to need to fill out in order to install WordPress. Up at the top under Software Setup, leave the protocol and domain name as is, and leave the directory field blank. Under Site Settings, enter your site name and your site description. This can easily be changed later, so don't worry if you aren't quite sure what your site will be named just yet. The admin account section here is the most important part of this entire setup process. You can see that the auto installer is automatically suggesting a secure username and password. I would recommend leaving these as is and making note of them or storing them in a password keeper like LastPass. If you are going to change the username or the password, be sure that your username is something unique. You want to avoid usernames like admin or root. And same thing with the password. You want to use a strong password with uppercase and lowercase letters, as well as numbers and special characters. The admin email field is extremely important. Be sure to change this to an email address that you have access to, because this is where all of your notifications from WordPress will go, and it's also how you will reset your password if you ever lose it. Under Choose Language, you can change your default language if needed. And under Select Plugins, you'll see a couple of options, both of which are free. The first is Limit Login Attempts. I would highly recommend checking that box. What this does is it limits the number of times that someone can try to sign into your website before they're locked out. This protects you against what's known as a brute force attack. That's where a hacker sends a bot to your website and repeatedly tries to guess your username and password combination. There's also an option here for a contact form plugin. We're actually going to be using a contact form that comes with a theme we're using for the site, so we don't need to check this box. Finally, there's a Choose Theme section. Don't select anything here. We'll be installing a more full-featured theme in just a bit. And that's it. At the bottom of the page, click the gray Install button, and your WordPress installation will begin automatically. As your WordPress installation is processing, you'll see this little status bar. It says it can take up to 3 to 4 minutes to install, but in reality, it usually takes 30 seconds or less. Once the installation is complete, you'll see this message that says, "Congratulations, the software was installed successfully." Your installation details will be emailed to you, but just in case, be sure to take note of the administrative URL here. Save this URL somewhere because this is your key to logging into what's known as your WordPress dashboard, which I'll explain in the next module.